the most notorious female criminals of all time. As is the case in most other sectors, men continue to hold the monopoly in the criminal world. Despite this, there have been some notorious women throughout history who have earned a place for themselves in the annals of history for their horrendous acts, some of which put even the most ruthless men to shame. In this video, here is a list of the top 10 most notorious female criminals in the annals of human history. Number 10. Sandra Avila Beltran. Sandra Avila Beltran, often known as the Queen of the Pacific, was one of the most dangerous drug traffickers operating during her period. She was the head of the Sinaloa cartel, as well as Juan Diego Espinosa's girlfriend and lover. Espinos was a drug trafficker from Colombia. Beltran was once responsible for a significant portion of the drug trade that took place between Colombia and Mexico. It is said that she maintained her lavish way of living even after she was arrested and transferred to a correctional facility. Number 9. Patty Hearst. Patty Hearst has a fascinating past, and her tale deserves to be told. She was a college student when she was abducted by the guerrilla group Symbionese Liberation Army. She was the heiress of media magnate William Randolph Hearst. After, she made an appearance in a video where she announced that she had joined SLA. She was also seen on security cameras brandishing a gun while committing a bank heist, which was captured on film. She was caught by the authorities within a year, and she was given a sentence of 7 years in prison for her crime. She was granted forgiveness much later. Number 8. Janine Jones. Janine Jones was a pediatric nurse in Texas who was responsible for the deaths of multiple infants. She did this by injecting the children with medications like digoxin, heparin, and succinylcholine. She devised a nefarious plan to catapult her career to the next level by putting children in peril and then rescuing them in front of an audience. But things did not proceed as planned, and as a result, numerous youngsters passed away as a result of cardiac paralysis and difficulty breathing. Jones was apprehended, although the evidence against him was scant. She was found guilty of one murder after a long hearing, and she was sentenced to prison as a result. She is considered to be one of the most prominent female criminals in addition to being a possible serial killer. She may be responsible for the deaths of as many as 60 infants, children, and young adults. Number 7. Carla Homolka. Carla Homolka and her spouse Paul Bernardo were both active participants in several rapes and killings. Carla Homolka was one of the active participants. They were responsible for the deaths of several young women, including Carla's younger sister. They went so far as to chronicle some of their more terrible deeds. Carla was able to secure a reduced sentence by stating that Bernardo coerced her into participating in the crimes. But the police were able to track them down and catch them in the end. This legendary serial murderer from Canada is accused of raping and murdering 3 young girls, along with her husband. By the terms of a plea deal, she was found guilty of manslaughter in the rape murders of 2 Ontario teenage girls in the years 1991 and 1992. These victims were Leslie Mahaffey and Kristen French. In addition, she was found guilty of raping and killing her sister Tammy. This news made international headlines. Number 6. Diane Downs. Diane Downs, known as one of the worst mothers in history, attempted to take the lives of all of her children to keep her boyfriend, who had stated that he did not want children. After shooting her children, Downs drove them to the hospital while they were still in the car. She concocted a story about robbing a car, and to bolster her claim, she injured herself to look more credible. The testimony of the mother's eldest daughter established that the mother had been unkind to her children, even if only her second kid had passed away. She is serving a sentence of life in prison. The story of her life was turned into a film titled Little Sacrifices. The author, and Rule, got the idea for it from her book of the same name. She is considered to be one of the most infamous female criminals in the annals of history. Number 5. Aileen Wuornos. At a young age, she entered the world of prostitution. She engaged in low-level criminal activity to increase her income, which led to her getting in trouble with the law. She got involved in a romantic relationship with a housekeeper at the hotel whose name was Tyria Moore, and this prompted her to step up the scope of her operations. They made it a routine to rob Wuornos' customers, and any who resisted were threatened with firearms. After a year of their reign, they had taken the lives of 7 men. Wuornos was apprehended and held responsible for multiple homicides. She was put to death in the year 2001. Wuornos revealed the identity of one of the most infamous female criminals in the annals of history. She was a vicious serial murderer from the United States who committed 7 murders in the state of Florida. Monster is a film that was released in 2003 and tells the life of Aileen Wuornos from her youth up until her first murder conviction. Charlize Theron played the role of Wuornos in the movie. In addition, Theron's performance as Wuornos earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress in the corresponding category. Number 4. Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco was not a low-level criminal despite her notoriety as the Black Widow and Queen of Cocaine. She reigned as a drug lord and was known for her ruthlessness in the industry. She rose to prominence as a major player in the cocaine trade and gang battles that raged across the United States during the 1970s and 1980s. She was a vicious and heartless murderer, even to the point of being willing to kill her spouse for money. It is alleged that she was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people, including her previous spouses. She was apprehended and given a prison sentence of 19 years for her crime. After being set free, she was murdered by a person who remains unidentified. This drug kingpin from Colombia is considered to be one of the most infamous female criminals. Number 3. Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden was a figure in one of the more horrible episodes in the annals of American history. She was the primary suspect in the dramatic murders that took place in Fall River in 1892. Her account states that she discovered her father dead on his couch, covered in blood, and with his left eyeball split into 2 places. The same thing happened when her stepmother was found inside a bedroom. The testimony provided by Lizzie was unreliable, and there was an overwhelming quantity of evidence against her, including the testimony provided by the maid. Despite this, she was found not guilty, and the crime is still a mystery to this day. Number 2. Bonnie Parker. During the height of the Great Depression, Bonnie was Clyde Barrow's partner in crime and his sweetheart. Together, they engaged in a string of violent crimes. They, together with their Barrow gang, were responsible for a slew of robberies, kidnappings, and killings, and they always managed to avoid getting caught by the authorities. During the assault, Bonnie and Clyde were both shot and killed, yet despite their infamous deaths, their mythology persisted in American popular culture. Bonnie Parker is said to as one of the most infamous female criminals in the annals of history. She is the most prolific murderess in addition to doing other types of crimes such as robberies. Number 1. Marion Cotton. Marion Cotton, maybe the most notorious of all female serial killers, was one of the most heinous female characters in the annals of human history. She had 4 different husbands, and all of them, together with their children, passed away from the same type of stomach fever. She had a pattern of inheriting significant sums of money from insurance policies, which was going to make people suspicious at some point. In the end, the media was able to uncover her modus operandi, and it was established that she had used arsenic to murder not just her spouses and friends, but also her mother and children. She may have been responsible for the deaths of as many as 21 people, including 11 of her children. Only 2 of Mary Ann's original 13 children made it to adulthood. On March 24, 1873, she was taken into custody and executed by hanging at the Durham County Prison. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.